Okay, yeah. Thank you very much. Good afternoon from here. I think in there maybe good evening. I'm Siti, and I've been involved in this HLB work from quite long. And here I would like to share with you how the production of citrus in Indonesia, the trend is still like this, which is match. I mean, what is it? Match with the trend of the HLB development. It will declining after 5-7 years, and then people will grow again, replanting again, and then in another 5-7 years again, it will be declining again, and like that for years to years. So actually, we are here living together with HLP. Yeah. And we have Azure project. Firstly, it was in 2000, but actually the project was started in 2003 after everything became safely. It was Balinese bomb, Marihat bomb, whatever last time. So the project was start in 2003 and then finished around 2010. It was with the Western Sydney University. Professor Andrew Beatty was the project leader. And now we just have this project again. Jessica has told us about that. And then actually, we in Indonesia have complex problem with smallholder scattered citrus farms. Unfortunately, for managing the Huang Longbing, we need a good area-wide management and good coordination. But with the smallholder farms anywhere scattered, it is very difficult for us to coordinate the management. And that's because our farmers have very small farm, and then even not only citrus growing on this farm, so it has become very difficult for us. And the production actually it is increasing, productivity, sorry, it is increasing from previously. It is now even in the successful farms can get until 60 ton per hectare, especially the citrus we have here, actually tangerine. It is very dense and produce quite a lot of fruits. And even in 2 years after planting, we can harvest the fruits. Yeah. And the economic for this citrus is quite good. So that's why, although we have Huang Longbing here, farmers still prefer to grow citrus because they compare to other commodities like rice, which is low price usually, and vegetable with high risk because we are in the tropic. The vegetable or other fruits may declining very well after harvesting. So citrus is still more favorable for the others, and it is also still profitable. Yeah. So in the last few months, through this Azure project, we did some survey again to renew the condition, and we just visited some citrus center area in Indonesia, in Kalimantan, Sumatra, and also in Java. Especially the biggest area for citrus production in Indonesia is in East Java, and where there is also the institution for citrus research institute, but now it has become different institution. And we also had some questionnaire for the farmers, yeah, concerning with the SLP spread on their farms and also in this area. Yeah, we asking whatever we would like to ask. And then what we found is that the technical problem, especially pests and diseases, are the best. I mean, the most, yeah, problem concerning the production, and of course for other technical capital, of course, yes. And here, its LP is the most important disease for the citrus production here. And unfortunately, we found that the age of the trees in Indonesia is very different. Some of them still about what is it, years, 10 years, some of them, yeah. But this is the one where we can find the successful farmers growing the citrus with less Huang Longbing. But others usually very low, and then after 5-7 years, it's becoming declining, and then change to another planting. Yeah. So actually, its LP in Indonesia has been found since 1940, very severe, and then it was reported somewhere anywhere in the central production, and then the severity is even 80% or even 100% when the earth is neglected and the farmer didn't care the farm. Yeah. Yeah, and the farmer knowing about each LP is quite good, but knowing about the SCP as the factor transmitting the disease must understand. I mean, they know more about the SCP, yeah. But for the SLP, a little bit, yeah. And we found quite many different symptoms which has the positive with PCR, yeah, in the area we visited. Yeah. It's quite typical like this, that some of them also related to the zinc and iron deficiency. Yeah. And actually in Indonesia, nationally, we have a kind of coordination by the Ministry of Agriculture to produce disease-free seedlings. Yeah. And the institute used to be called as Baligestro or Eat Free. Yeah, producing the disease-free seedlings to be distributed for the farmers, yeah, through this kind of flow chart like this, yeah, and some in every province, especially related to the citrus production center, they have block foundation and then multiplication block, and then they also have institute for certifying the nursery whether they produce disease-free. But unfortunately, because this community is quite favorable, the demand of the seedlings are very high, and the disease-free seedlings cannot cover all of the demand of the farmers. So that's why in the field there are still mixed between the disease-free and also uncertified seedlings. So and of course the this is the circle, yeah, the flow chart, yeah, where it is a national program and it has been very long time, but yeah, still cannot manage completely of the Huang Longbing spread here in Indonesia. Yeah, yeah, when it should be like this, but unfortunately, not all of the seedlings produce like this, and then we still have quite severe, and the incident, yeah, still varies from relatively free for the successful farmers, but many of them also still with severe disease, yeah. And there are still many neglected orchards with severe HLP and need coordination more. Yeah. Here we, from our survey from East Java and then from West Kalimantan, from West Java, we still found the psyllid and also the HLP spreading in the orchards. Yeah, something like this. This one is quite already maybe more than 6 years. Actually, we predict that this plant is maybe already infected from the beginning, but it just still stay like that. Yeah, farmer do not do anything with the trees, so it's become a source of inoculum to be spread anywhere. And this one, this is siam. Yeah, it is also already very popular in Indonesia, and more than 70% of the citrus in Indonesia is tangerine, which is called siam. Yeah, and this one is very sensitive to Huang Longbing, although it produced very quick, but then dead very quick, and then replanting again with another planting material. Yeah, and when the planting material is not healthy, again problem recycling. Yeah, yeah, like this. This is very often when we go to the field. Yeah, like this. See, this is some of the trees still okay, but actually this trees probably already infected very long, but still standing there. And in this one, relatively new planting, but actually we already found some infected plants in there and sitting there without any further management. And besides citrus, we know that the other host of the psyllid actually Muraya, and we can find it was only few last month, yeah. We found fences on the street where we can find quite high density of psyllid, yeah, and also sorry, yeah. We should have seedlings like this to have disease free, but when we have already done the grafting and so on, after grafting they just grow like this outside where psyllid is still can come and then spread the disease. And I mean the disease is not, I mean the seedlings become infected, so no more as disease-free seedlings. That's very often like that. Yeah. So because the huge demand of the citrus science and seedlings and not enough supply of disease-free certified seedlings for national production, and also the distribution of uncertified seedlings, so it's mixed between the healthy and unhealthy one. So it's become very complex. Yeah. And when infected plants in the field, there are incomplete or partial orchard eradication with infected trees, and also poor coordination on area. Well, although the government already pushed the farmer to have a group, one group of farmer about 20 to 30 family, and then a bigger group in the village about 500, but not only citrus. So it's become citrus is maybe only in a certain area where citrus production is in there more intensively, but in other area where citrus is just a little bit, it is very difficult, yeah, to be managed. And but then that area becoming as the resources of the inoculum. Yeah. And although we found that recently, I mean not recently, a few years lately, we couldn't find the population, high population of psyllid. Yeah. Not like when we had our first Asia project. Psyllid is so dense, but this Asia project now, when we went out, it is quite difficult to find any psyllid, although we still can find some, especially in the Muraya, something like that. But in the citrus itself, not so high population. However, since the seedlings are not reliable, healthy, so we still can find the disease anywhere. Yeah. Okay, rotation.
One more minute, Siti.
Yeah, then. Yeah, here you are. This is some of the successful farmers. They're growing citrus, and then yeah, we also encouraging the farmers to have multiple cropping, because by harvesting the cash crop in the citrus orchard, they can have some more capital to manage their citrus orchards. Yeah. So, well, still struggling with managing HLB in Indonesia. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, maybe that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Siti. If you could just leave that slide. Oh, I was going to say that slide was great, but that was very interesting around the intercropping, and the examples there was fantastic, where you had the different crops, and that idea that you're also contributing to the ability for them to invest more through diversifying their crop. It's very interesting. And I was also interested that you said that it was a bit harder to find the psyllid. I guess that's kind of interesting. What's happening with the population? I was just thinking your last slide, I think your second last slide was quite nice with the different take-home information and that picture there. Yeah, that's quite nice to see. So I'm just showing it out to everyone as well. It's a nice idea. It'll be interesting to see, Siti, what happens as you progress further with the ACIR project and your other work. And we'll have to invite you back, I think, in a year's time to see how that goes. Just one quick question. How hard is it to involve farmers in eradicating, I guess, diseased trees? I mean, do they understand what's happening quite easily, or does it require quite a lot of education and convincing?
Yeah, here, because you have a smallholder farmer with small or limited income, they still try to keep the fruit, I mean, the trees, whether they are already having infection, because the infected plant still producing some fruit, whether it is not for what is it, fresh as a fruit, but they harvest them to be juice, to be sold for juice. Of course, it is a lower price, but they still can get some income from the infected plant. So that's why encouraging to grow some pest crop other than citrus, that may be the problem solving for the income for the farmers. Yeah.